चल, सबको रिझाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख जगाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल, राम धुन गाता चल।
राम सिया राम, जय जय राम सिया राम।
जो जीवन का सार समझ ले, जीवन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी, सब कंचन उसका है। जर्रा निकाले जो माटी, सब कंचन उसका है। परतें हटाता चल, मन को सजाता चल, परतें हटाता चल, मन को सजाता चल, मिल जाएंगे राम। राम नाम का अलख।
सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः। इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः। सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलये न व्यथन्ति च। मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहम्। सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत। सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः। अहं बीजप्रदः पिता। सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः। निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्। तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयम्। सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम् तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम् तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्वं भवति भारत रजः सत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
Jackie, you're muted.
Thank you, Mahesh. We started the the 9th verse last time, where it was only a summary of what he has said so far. So, sukham, sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattva attaches itself to sukham. Raja karmani bharata, O Bharata, rajas attaches itself in action. It gets involved in action. Jnanam avrutya tu tamaha, but tu tamaha, jnanam avrutya, having covered, pramade sanjayati. Pramade, in pramad. Now this pramad is translated as heedlessness. Tamas gets involved in heedlessness. So what happens in the case of the sattvic person? It's all light and knowledge and happiness and bliss for him. Not only that, he creates bliss for everyone around him. Everybody's happy when he comes. He's like, like if Krishna comes into the room, now everybody's thrilled, right? So it's almost like the whole place gets lit up because this person has come. Some people, they come and then everybody goes like murja hua flowers. And some people come in and then everybody's like, oh yeah, so-and-so has come. Now, when you're young, automatically when you go now and the elders will say, oh, Bittiya Rani hai, to Ronak hai. When Bhavna goes somewhere, then all her family must be saying, oh, Bittiya Rani hamari aa gayi. And Ronak hai, as they say in Delhi. So when you're young and the purity is still there in us, everybody is very happy. So that sattva is still sort of shining and available. But as we grow older in life, we get so heavy and we get so burdened because all our rajas and our tamas is coming to the surface. And then we look so burdened, Bapre. If you look at an elderly person, they look like pure dunya bhar ka boj unhi ke upar hai. Like really, there's a heaviness about it, not the lightness of youth. So that lightness. So don't say now all youngsters are sattvic. That's not what it means. That lightness, that happiness of taking things in your stride, yeah, jo hai, wo dekha jayega. We'll deal with it, jo bhi hai. No big deal. Take things lightly, easily, happily. If you are happy yourself, you make everybody around you also chill and relax. And not chill and relax in the way that you did as a youngster, where hoga ki nahi doesn't matter. When you're dedicated to your goal, when you do everything for your goal, you're still chill and relax. So that's the kind of thing which is sattvic. Now, because you're doing the right things, what is happening in the world is also conducive for your happiness. So, sattvic people are happy within themselves, and everything around them is also going well because they're doing all the right things. They are not like, oh, I'm so happy and I don't need to do anything. Sattvic people, for instance, don't retire. So, they are very active till the end. They don't, normally when you're very rajasic or tamasic, you want to retire in life. Kab ye kaam mera band ho jayega. They look upon work as a burden. So, Sattvic people are happy because A, they are happy within, they are happy souls. And B, their happiness is not stopping them from doing right action. Like in our life, happiness stops us from right action. Their happiness makes them do right action. So everything in the world also is going very well for them. Of course, they get problems, but they do not get problems at the rate that we get them. We seem to have one new one every day. They're like, generally everything is good for them. Okay, so Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayat. And though this all sounds very nice, there's a problem here. And what is that problem?
Complacency?
Yes, the attachment to all of them. They do not know. I do not even know how many people I can count. People who came to class, who studied and put in a lot of work, who did very well in life, who are living very good lives, who are very grateful to Vedanta for having given them all of this. And if you meet them, they're very nice people. You'll enjoy meeting them. Everything is okay. Only thing that has stopped is
Vedanta.
Vedanta. Yeah.
Sadhana.
Yeah, sadhana has stopped. So you begin to see these things as you go on. It's nothing. They don't feel the need, and it's not that you come to class and therefore your sadhana is on. Okay, please don't assume that everybody who comes to class their sadhana is on. Class is only step one of that sadhana, and neither does it mean if you're not attending class you're not doing sadhana. It doesn't mean that. It means, are you dedicated to your goal and are you continuing to work for that? Not enjoying the journey, like, you get used to certain aspects of it and you keep doing it, not like that. But you're genuinely taking every single decision based on that higher goal. So when you become satisfied with life, you become complacent. You become attached to that level. See, remember, the sattvic person is not attached to any of those things that he's enjoying. What is he attached to? He's attached only to that level. He thinks this is fine what it is. That's where his attachment lies. So, Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati, Raja Karmani Bharata, O Arjuna. Bharata is another name for Arjuna. Any one of us can be called Bharata. Bharata comes from Bharat. Bharat was the great son of Shakuntala and Dushyant. And since he was one of the greatest kings in Bharatvarsha, it came to be called that. So all of us technically are descendants of that. So we are all Bharata. This is the historical or mythological or whatever you want to. I'm not going into whether this is history or not. This is what has come down to us, right? This is what are the traditional stories told to us. But the word Bharata also has another and more philosophical meaning, which is Bharati. They who Rati, revel in. Bha means light. Those who revel in light, those who are reveling in pure consciousness, they are the sons, they call them sons of immortality. That's another way we are referred to, or children of immortality. Because as a country, we have had this amazing luck to be born here, to be born in a country that knows about Atman and has this knowledge spread everywhere in good ways and bad ways, but it's all there somewhere in, any traditional culture in this country will have remnants, because now it's all gone, but remnants of it, and you will begin to see how people all in some way or the other know of it. So we are really blessed to be in this land, and we are the ones who are the children of immortality, or those who revel in the light of consciousness. So all of us are Bharatas, and so he speaks to us when he says, "O Bharata," means, "O son, O children of Bharat." You know, right? When the first ones, now suppose Bharat has a child, then we can call that child also Bharat, because son of Bharat. Okay. Then, now, Raja Karmani Bharat. Rajas gets involved in action. Rajas is full of desires. They've got so many things to do. So they are running from pillar to post trying to get those things done. And they're not all in the same line. So they're running from this end to that end. The sattvic desires are all funneled into one thing. But Rajasic desires are all over the place. Oh, I have to go there, I have to go there, I have to do this, I have to do that. No time, no time, no time. Whenever you feel that there is no time, please note Rajas has come to the surface. I have no time, I have no time, no time. Can you come and help with the marathon? No, I have no time, I have no time. Can you come and help with our research team? No time, no time, no time. But what do you have time for? No, I don't have time. I don't have time to die also. Don't worry. When the time comes, you will have time for it. So don't worry. You will have plenty of time. But that whole thing, no time, no time. No time means I have no priority for this thing. So let's say somebody in your house is not well. Will you not stop whatever you're doing and take care of that person? In fact, what you're doing is, your first thing to go will be Vedanta. Then no, my mother's not well, my son is not well, my somebody, my grandfather is not well. I can't do this. But if we say, oh, now for the next 2-3 months, we all have to get together and work for the marathon so that we can get enough to build the university, will you say to somebody else, oh, I'm working for the marathon now, you people don't disturb me, okay? Will you say that? Why not? It's a matter of pride. What do you find important in it? Are you stopping other things for this, or are you stopping this for other things? So the nature of Rajas is, I have no time for anything nobler, higher, greater. I have plenty of time for all the low things in life, lower things of life. And all the lower things I want. It's not like 1 or 2 things. I want them all. So I'm rushing from pillar to post, trying to get those things. This is the nature of Rajas. Does anyone says, I have no time to make money? Does anyone ever say something like that? I have no time to make money. Say that. There are plenty of time to make money, but no time for something nobler and greater in life. So all the time, you'll find these honchos also. They've got all the time for golf. They've got time for everything, but no time to spend on something higher. And definitely, even if they do volunteer work or they do service, no time to sit down and think about the facts of life. If at all people do service, volunteer work, or spend some time in donation and all of that, that is an end in itself. It's like another box to tick. Okay, golf, tick. Professional success, tick. Wife, husband, tick. Children, tick. Volunteer work, tick. Boxes to be ticked. Then I've done everything. No, you haven't, because you haven't done what a human being is supposed to do, which is understand what life is about. And if ever I am forced to go to these wonderful parties that people invite you to, that you have to go because of various things, they know you're in Vedanta, they will all come and give you a lecture on their greatness. Basically, I did this volunteer work, this book I read, this I did, that. मैं क्या करूं? But that is the nature of Rajas. What is Rajas is running around. Rajas wants to impress you. Rajas wants to. It's all about them. They tell you all these things. Why? So you should say, "Oh, fantastic." And then, yeah, it's their crowning glory to say, "So I don't need Vedanta, right?" Yes, Baba, you don't need Vedanta. Mujhe baksh lo. So all along, it is all about me, what I have to do, what I am doing, and how great I am. This is the nature of Rajas. So what happens is it's running from pillar to. Then we come to Tamas. What is the nature of Tamas? It is Jnanam Avritti. Avritya, Avarna means covering. So Avritya. Question. Deep Rashi is bursting like a firecracker. Yes, correct. Bharat. No time means no mental space to think, since desires have overloaded the mind. Yes, and it's not only desires. Desires we all have. Their desires are running amok. And they're all clashing with each other, and they are finding it difficult to say which one I'm not going to do. They're not able to say that. They want to do them all. They don't even say, okay, this I will do after something. I want to do all now, here. I want to enjoy everything, do everything. But you have only 24 hours in the day. Just take it easy. No. So they tend to complicate everything a lot. So desires have overloaded the mind. Desires have overloaded the entire system. It's not just the mind. Intellect is also overloaded. Body is also overloaded. They just collapse only. Some of them literally die, but some of them just can't function. They behave on Sunday like Kumbhakarna. Because, like, what happened? What did you do around the whole week that Sunday you have to be like half dead? But that's how the feeling is. So, since desires have overloaded the mind and overloaded the entire system, the body, mind, and intellect. Yeah. Okay, Bharat?
Yes, thanks.
Is it possible that the goal is sattvic, nobler, but the actions are rajasic, always running around? Arun Sehgal. Yes, that's possible, because we are all a combination of tamas, rajas, and sattva, but you must not put rajas as always running around, because noble people can be running around all the time, but not be in rajas. Activity by itself doesn't tell us whether it is rajas or tamas or sattva, any one of these. It is the passion behind the activity, the craving, the desiring, the focus on oneself. It is those mental attitudes that determine that it is rajas. So is it possible that the goal is sattvic but the actions are rajasic? True. Except that Rajasic doesn't mean they're running around. In fact, the Sattvic people perform much more. Their performance is much higher. They're doing, they could be doing like 100 things, but when you meet them, you will not get the feeling that they are doing 100. You will get the feeling, unless they choose to give you that feeling. That is also a possibility because Sattvic person thinks and does. So, unless they want you to feel that they are doing a million things, you will never feel it.
Yeah, Janki, could this happen that goal is nobler, but both actions are sattvic actions. However, in one case, there is lack of clarity. So therefore, Rajasic action is coming from here. Lack of clarity. Intention is there, but there's just lack of clarity. It's a capability issue. That's possible. So there is an element of Rajas there.
Yes, except that it need correct. I mean, as a observation of the world, correct that people can have great intentions, but their capacities may not be aligned. We see this all the time, right? People come to us and tell us, "Oh, I will do X and I will do Y and I will do Z." End result is zilch. So, as an observation, that's correct. However, that can happen both out of Rajas as well as out of Tamas. So when you're saying that here is a person who's unaware of his capability, that is jnanam avritya. His knowledge has been covered. He's in tamas. If he is going beyond his capacity because he's so driven by the desire to obtain or to impress or for whatever reason, he's just overshot himself because of all of that, then that's Rajas.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So action.
Janki ji,
Yeah.
Janki, earlier you said in happiness we stop working. You mean to say stay put? We will not take new things?
Yes,
Is
you
the
don't
meaning
take
of
new
that?
things, you drop the ones you have. Both are possible. You may not take up something new, or you may drop what you already have. Like you retire, for instance. Oh, mere paas enough paise hai. Now I'm going to retire. So you can, in fact, in the Gita, he himself says that renunciation is not taking up new things. It is not dropping what you have. In chapter 3, if you remember, he had said that. So both these possibilities exist. So people say, okay, I have enough money. Even 40 people start talking like that. They think, oh, I must retire at 40. What are you, a parasite or what? From 40 to 100, you will not work. Just because you have enough money. Sounds parasitic to me. We have to work. Okay, so both are possible.
Janki ji, so Rajas is wide spectrum, right? I mean, from the soldier class to the corporate class, can all be clubbed under Rajas?
Sorry, say it again.
Rajas is wide spectrum, right? From the soldier class to the corporate class can all be clubbed under Rajas, right?
Soldier, you're saying?
Yeah.
From soldier to corporate. No, not really. A soldier can be tamas, rajas, sattva, and a corporate person also can be in tamas, rajas, or sattva. I'm not clear. What you're obviously not meaning that because you're a soldier or because you're a corporate person, you are a rajasic person, right?
No, since activity is what defines those class of people, so in that sense.
No. Activity always means desired in activity. In Vedanta, activity is bad because it is run by desires. Otherwise, activity is great, right? The Upanishad says, may you live 100 years working in action. That is the blessing of the Upanishad. If you don't believe me, read Isavasya Upanishad. Second verse says that. May you live 100 years working in action. So, sometimes you get that, sometimes they tell you be in action, sometimes they tell you don't be in action, make up your mind, kya kare hum log. When they say action, it means action which is self-centered, action which is desired in, action which is based on likes and dislikes. All this bundle is Rajasic action. And the bundle which is action for a nobler cause, for a higher purpose, done in the right way, all that comes under Sattvic action. And Tamasic action, all heedless, reckless actions. Driving fast, drinking and driving, heedless, reckless actions. So all three are acting. Tamas, Rajas and Sattva, as you know, is a classification of thoughts, not what the body is doing.
So Janki ji,
Okay.
Sattvic,
One second. Let Bharat finish.
So Kshatriya working to protect the country is acting under Sattva, right?
No. A Kshatriya is a Rajasic person. Working for the country is a Sattvic action. So when a Kshatriya works for the country, this is known as a Rajasic Sattvic action. Do you remember the gradation? Tamas, Tamasic Rajas, Sattvic Rajas, Rajasic Sattva, Trans Sattva.
We did this many years back, but it's a bit confusing.
Yes. So when you work for a higher cause, when a Kshatriya goes to battle for his own selfish purposes, I will conquer more lands. This is Rajasic. If he goes for the welfare of his nation, then that act of his is a Sattvic act. And if he goes like the conquests that happen, over here, just go there, loot, come back, harm, maim, do negative actions, or do go out on a conquest that you're not even capable of handling. All of that will be his tamasic actions.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody said something.
yes,
Who was-
Janki ji.
Huh.
So Sattvic action is also desire-ridden, but of a higher nature. The desires of
Desire-ridden means that there is no higher goal. It is the opposite of a goal.
okay,
The opposite of a goal versus being desired. Like
opposite.
desire-ridden means these are two opposite things. You can either have a goal or be desire-ridden. Desire-ridden means I want something, I'm doing it. Goal means there is something to aim for and I am working for it. Sounds the same. I don't know how to put it. Okay, desire-ridden means I want to work for my country. So every time Independence Day comes or Republic Day comes or some political party does something, then I'm all in Josh and I do it. Then after that, I go abroad. I want to bring a nice watch from abroad. So now I don't have to pay the customs. So I just wear it and pretend it's my old watch and I come. So desire-ridden, it's like, it's not a congruent personality. It is ek din for it, ek din against it. Kuch bhi chalta hai. But a Sattvic person doesn't do that. He stays by whatever his principles are. So it's not desire-ridden. It is all directed to that goal. He's not like one day this and one day that.
Okay, thank you.
Desire-ridden means functioning on likes and dislikes. That's what it means. So sometimes you like good things also. So you go all out for them. The next day you want something of a lower nature, then you go on out for that one. The immaturity of them. Then Ravi Chabra, yeah, you've been waiting.
This question is slightly different from the topic which is being discussed. My question is that we all know that past cannot be avoided and we should not procrastinate about the past. Now, my question is then what about the future? Because we keep worrying about the future and we invite a lot of stress. So, how do we go about it? How do we handle this kind of thinking about the future? That's the question. Thank you.
Okay. Firstly, as long as there's rajas, there will be this craving for the future. That is a given because it's the nature of rajas. Now, what do we do about it? We have to apply whatever sattva we have. To apply whatever sattva we have means we have to apply our intellect to it and try and figure out what is it that is worrying me about the future. Let us say financial instability is worrying me about the future. Will I have money when I'm 90 years old? Suppose that is my worry. Then I should go and take advice from a person, say a financial expert, and say, okay, I think I'm not clear whether at 90 I'm going to have enough money. Can you help ensure that I do have it? And then take the actions that need to be taken. Suppose it is another kind of worry. It is a worry such as, will my son become a doctor? If it's that kind of a worry, then I have to tell myself that whether he becomes a doctor or not is something that is dependent on what he does and what he's interested in. I can only provide a conducive environment. So let me do that. Let me open books and study something. Let me show some interest in the medical field. Why this, why that? Try to understand it myself. So trying to take relevant actions and knowing what is within our control and what is not within our control helps us mitigate that worry a bit. Normally, when we worry, it's usually indicative of the fact that A, we are not doing what we should be doing, or B, we are trying to control something which is not within our control. It's not possible.
So, in other words, will it be right to say that we should not start worrying about the future? Think deeply what is in store for us and try to find the solutions within our means by using our intellect. It could be about the health, it could be about financial matters or a relation with somebody with whom you're living, whatever the matter. So, worrying unnecessarily will unnecessarily lead to stress. So, use the intellect, try to analyze how best you can solve the problem. One could also say that okay, you try your best, use your intellect and do the obligatory duties, and as it says, then you mentioned that let thy be done, right? Leave it to the God Almighty or whatever you can call it. To see, you do your best, and then let this be taken care of the superpowers or whosoever is for that matter. Will that be the right approach to thinking?
Yeah, sure. Why not? But the important thing is that you are doing your best and you are able to identify what is within your control and what is not. When you are bhakti oriented, and it's a good thing to be so, instead of saying, oh, this is not in my control, it's so much more inspiring to say God is taking care of it. But the two statements are exactly the same. God is taking care of it means Ishvara is taking care of it. Ishvara means whatever is the total desires, the entire subtle body, that is what will eventually happen. Like for instance,
each individual uses his or her perspective and tries to arrive at the solution. Now, the solution which I have arrived or somebody else has arrived may not be same, but then we have to use our perception, our intellect, and then see that how best we can handle the solution, right?
Yes, and you have one more tool. And that tool is called expert advice.
Yeah, of course, that goes without saying. Yes, thank you.
Because sometimes we do, all the problems we go through, somebody else has already gone through. Right? And people have been thinking about these problems for tens of thousands of years. And some of them came up with good solutions. So even today, like suppose I have a problem with my spouse or my child or my finances or my health. Other people have also thought about these things. They also have something. So why not ask them how much time and effort and energy we will save if somebody can just tell us, right? Of course, you have to find the right person. That's there. But remember that that is also there. We are not alone here. And even if you can't find an expert, you can find what do they call it nowadays? They call it some group. Anybody know that group? Support group. Suppose I have a spouse who is suffering from Alzheimer's, let's say. Okay, and that is tremendously taxing on a person who has to actually deal with this, because it's a lot. That person, you are doing something for somebody who doesn't know who you are. If you do it for your mother who's not well, you are doing and you're getting the satisfaction of the oneness between you and your mother. But suppose the mother or father or spouse or child or whatever it is doesn't even know who you are. It's like you're doing so much and you're getting nothing in exchange. You're getting no emotional or whatever. But then there's no solution really to that. But there are other people who have exactly the same problem, and they at least can get together and be supportive of each other. Even in mental health issues, many people suffer from mental health issues. They don't want to let anybody know that they've got it. But if they let people know, then they can support one another, right? It's like, oh my God, I shouldn't tell anybody about my problem. What will they think of me? If they think bad about me, that is on them, not on me. I am what I am. If you think bad about me, tough luck to you. I continue to be who I am. Right? So basically, that Rajasic element in us doesn't let us tell people, because we are so worried what they'll think of me. Even people who are gay, it is a tremendous pressure on them to come out. It's like a big thing. So remember that you're not alone. There are lots of people here who suffer from the problems we suffer. Some are experts, know what to do about it. Some are people like us who are struggling with it. Both kinds of people can help us. So we have our intellect and we have others. Remember that. Two things we have.
So when you are confused, or when you have worries, and instead of getting worried internally, better to seek advice, better use a mentor, and drop the ego. Many times, as you
Use
have
a
said, that
mentor or use a support group. Both are there.
yeah, as you said, that many times it is our ego which restricts us to approach others, for that matter. And all. There's no shame, there's no harm in approaching others and asking for help, for that matter.
Absolutely. What is the I mean, it's like if you don't ask a question in class, you will never know the answer. And so, you know what they say, if you ask the question, you may appear stupid once. If you don't ask the question, you'll always be stupid. So, it's always better to say, okay, I don't know this. Can you help me, please? Then you
Questions are
have
never
no problem asking it in class. So why is there a problem asking anyone else?
Questions are never stupid. We always think that if I ask a question, I may sound stupid, but that is not the correct approach, for that matter. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Momita, what is the gradation, please? Sorry, Momita, I'm sure this was with reference to something. What gradation are you talking about? Is it that tamasic, rajasic one?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so first is tamas. Then is rajasic tamas. Then is tamasic rajas. As a student of language, the way for you to remember it, it's very simple. Take the noun and put the adjective before it. Okay, so you have tamas. Now you cannot have Rajasic tamas or Sattvic tamas, right? So you have tamas. Then what do you have? Then you have another level of tamas. So put Rajas before it. Now it is tamas with the adjective of Rajas. Then what do you get? Then you get Rajas. Now what can be a adjective to Rajas? Tamas. Then you have Rajas. Got it? Now you can work it out. You all want me to write it on the board, but you all can work it out anyway.
Could you please elaborate? This is quite interesting with an example.
Oh my gosh. Elaborate as in write it on the whiteboard or elaborate as in give an example?
Yeah, just, yeah. Like first is a tamasic person, then is a rajasic.
Then
Tamas.
Rajasic tamas, yeah.
Then
Tamas, okay. Tamas is he's too tamasic to move. Now, what is a Rajasic tamas fellow? He's a criminal now. But he will do, chindi chor. You know what is a chindi chor? He doesn't have time to even think about his crime. Jo milega wo le leta hai. Chindi chor, kuch bhi chota mota utha sakta hai. That kind of. Then you come to tamasic rajas. Tamasic rajas means what? Now here's a criminal who's applying himself a little bit at least. He's thinking, yeah, how do I, what should I do or something? Some amount of thinking has gone on. Then we come to Rajas. Rajas, Rajas is what? Now he wants to take care of his family and earn lots of money, and his children have to go to the right school, and all the stories going on. Then we go to Sattvic Rajas. Now, who is this fellow? This is the fellow who joins the Rotary. He joins the Lions. He joins some organization for social work of some kind. So he joins the organization. He does a little bit of social work and thoda, maybe president ho jaun, maybe chairman ho jaun, all that story goes on. Then we come to Sattva. So what is the adjective for Sattva? Rajasic Sattva. So he's at the lower levels of Sattva. So now he's not really about me becoming chairman. He genuinely wishes to serve the cause. Then he comes to Sattva. Sattva means he's now started thinking about something more than serving causes. He serves causes now as a means to understanding the truths of life. He comes to Sattva. And then finally comes to Transattva, which means he's a realized soul. He or she.
yes, got it. Thank you.
Does any text contain the gradation of desires and their states? Not really, as I can recollect as of now. But in the Gita, he does a simplified version of it, which is the asuric and the demoniac. The demoniac and the divine. So he does something there, which if you're asking desires and all that. So he's actually expressing the desires as the person feels it. Most of the text of the Gita, in fact, some people believe that chapter in extrapolation, but I don't think so. Any teacher would go and explain something sometimes in terms of its practical. So everywhere he's very theoretical, right? Other than saying you must go and fight, he just gives the principles. But in that chapter, he sort of says, okay, this is how this tamasic person is thinking, or rajasic person is thinking. So that is there. Like he says, no, this I have conquered, this I will conquer tomorrow. He talks in terms of the actual desires. So that is the only one I can think of offhand.
Okay, thank you.
Vedanta wisdom. Who is Vedanta wisdom? Omkar, what is the difference between tamasic rajas and rajasic tamas? We just did it. Is that okay?
Yes. I wrote it before that.
Momita, Chindi Chor upgrades to dawn. Correct. Chindi Chor upgrades to dawn. He's got stuff going on. He's not just an idiot, but they have skills and abilities and all of that. And then Dawn upgrades to, tell me, Dawn upgrades to?
Missionary.
I was going to say Bond.
Okay.
So Dawn becomes Bond. So yes, you can look at it like that. Because now Bond is also Rajas, but he has the higher vision. Okay, chalo. Then what?
So you can't be tamasic sattva. No? You can't go up 2 levels, only 1 level.
What would tamasic sattva? I mean, you can if you really want, then it will be like you have reached a certain level, but you're simply not moving after that. I mean, you could if you want, but it's sort of a little forced.
Wouldn't people who go bonkers over charity be in that category
Which category?
of tamasic sattva, maybe?
Normally it would be Rajasic Sattva, or it could be Sattvic Rajas, depending on why they're going bonkers.
What about the passive good?
Passive good, the passive part is Tamasic. They're not thinking at all. The good part is the Sattvic part. So they don't fit in this category. Remember, these are all different categorizations for our comprehension. So you say, where does mind and intellect fit? It doesn't quite fit. Different categorizations are meant to explain to us different ways that we can look at it. So don't try to put them one on the other, because that rarely works. Like you say, mano, buddhi, chittam, kar, where will that fit? It doesn't fit in this. These are all different ways of classifying mental temperaments. I don't know why this thing suddenly got so much enthusiasm from you all, but okay, we are good to move forward from here. So,
Janki ji, one more question. Why doesn't Hinduism have a kind of conversion orientation? Because we understand personalities. It is useful in using knowledge, providing information to bring them up, but we don't have a tradition of conversion.
Yeah, because in India it'll be very difficult to convert. What do we convert you to? Suppose you're, let's say, a Muslim, and we want to convert you. Now, in Hinduism, what do we convert you to? Will we make you a Shiva Bhakt, a Vishnu Bhakt? Will we tell you to do Advaita? Will we tell you to? It's so complex. What are we to convert a person to? It will become like they can't be an overall authority, right? We've sent 50 towards Vishnu, 50 towards Shiva. It's become all very complex, and we can't have people just divide out the various gods and then sort of say every convert from this religion goes here. It just doesn't work. Practically, it won't work, and philosophically, the other thing is, why would we? If we have 33 gods that can take you to the ultimate, your one god, why can't it take you? We will make it 33 crore 1 or 33 crore 2 or 4 or whatever it is. All gods are our gods. Our God can be called Vishnu and Brahman and Shiva and Allah and Ahura Mazda. Our God can be called any name. Ekatu Rama, Anekatu Rama.
But a person who identifies as Hindu doesn't say that. In fact, even the Buddha and Mahavir, their philosophies are categorized as Gnostic because they do not follow the Vedas.
They do not accept the authority of the Vedas. But They're not removed. You know, Buddha is considered one of the avatars of Vishnu. Christ also. I love that thing that Rajneesh says. I don't normally appreciate, but that I thought was very funny. He says the Hindu mind is very subtle. It doesn't convert people. It goes and converts their God. And so that whole lot comes to us. So you say, okay, Buddha is avatar of Vishnu. Automatically, whole lot become Vishnu Bhakts, which means Hindus. Okay, Allah is Brahman. Okay, all Muslims have become Hindus. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but they may not appreciate. But the thing is, we feel one with everybody. Just because you differ from me doesn't mean that we cannot be one. That is where the philosophy comes from. So why would we only convert you with reference to a religion? We can convert you with reference to so many things, right? We can convert you with reference to your finances, in which case we will become socialists or communists. We can convert you with reference to your to various aspects of the personality. So why would we pick religion for conversion? Why not anything else? We can convert your body. We can say, okay, we want to catch hold of everybody, and everyone who's fat, we want to make them thin. We can do any kind of conversion, right? So why would we choose religion? What benefit is it to them or us?
It's just interesting that we never thought of this. In fact, the Buddha was probably the first to go around seeking students and creating that gap.
All teachers seek students. How can they be a teacher unless they have students?
But I think Swami Vivekananda said that he was probably the only proselytizer in India.
Every teacher has done it. I mean, some have done it actively, some have done it passively. But obviously, I mean, if you knew some information which is going to benefit the whole world, why would you keep that information to yourself? I mean, every teacher, any genuine teacher, has only one intent, right? To benefit the other. And if you don't express, how do you benefit? Take somebody like Ramana Maharishi. By nature, he doesn't open his mouth. By nature. It's not like he's trying to keep quiet. By nature, he doesn't open his mouth. And yet, for the benefit of his students, he said a few things. Like otherwise, for somebody like him, just keeping quiet would be like just fabulous. I mean, some of us talk, some of us don't talk. So if you realized, very happy to be quiet. But no, in spite of that, he spoke. I mean, what a strain it must have been for him to speak. So every teacher does. But their students sometimes take it in some kind of erroneous manner and then create chaos.
Janki, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, being a Muslim who's studying Vedanta, I really enjoyed it. I just wanted to share that I came across some people who were so idiotic to ask me whether I would do Ghar Wapasi or something like that.
Whether you would do what?
Ghar Wapasi. Ghar Wapasi, have you heard of that movement? Yeah, it was so idiotic. I could just see the tamasic nature and the passive aggressiveness of such people. And it was really funny. And so I'm really happy that, like you said, Bharati, the meaning of Bharati is one who revels in self-knowledge. And Sanatana Dharma doesn't need anybody to convert to their religion because everything is Sanatana Dharma, actually. It's the basis. So I feel very happy to be studying Vedanta as a Muslim. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, great. Yes, and and at the retreat you had interpreted one of the, what is the shloka?
Suras.
One of the suras, so beautifully in terms of tamas and rajas. Really appreciated that. That is the great thing about Vedanta, that if you study it, a Muslim becomes a better Muslim, a Buddhist becomes a better Buddhist, a Christian becomes a better Christian, and a human being becomes a better human being. So yeah. So yes, so and you know, other people, even if they're doing Ghar Vapasi, it may be tamasic or rajasic or sattvic. We just don't know until we know what is the motivation this person has. So only once we know the thought, then we can analyze whether it is tamas rajas. Okay. So no, we didn't go very far today. Tamas is Jnanam Avritya. Jnanam Avritya means whatever you know also is covered. And Jnanam Avritya means the self is covered. So the entire lot of is in all darkness. Tamas means darkness. The whole thing is in darkness. So what is Bharat saying? Bharat has a announcement for us.
Yes, Hariam everyone. This evening, 4:30 on Zoom, we'll be having a meeting for the upcoming marathon in Jan. So the details are already shared. Please